Hey guys, welcome back to Overtime Arcade. I'm Charlie, and I know, the lights are on and the games are off, guys. It's a mess down here. I've got my Donkey Kong pulled out of the lineup. I've got the monitor pulled out of the cabinet because I'm testing more flybacks for Peter from ArcadePartsRepair.com. But anyway, guys, this is it. The grand finale of the Red Baron series. That's right, this is the final part of our Atari Red Baron arcade repair series. And guys, I'm super excited. We've come a long way. We've done a ton of episodes already. We did the pickup and the overview. I did a live stream where I tested all the power, the power supply and all the components and fixed the AR2. And we got the game playing blind and even playing on an oscilloscope. So go back and watch that live stream if you missed it. And then in last week's episode, we rebuilt the Geo5 802 black and white vector monitor, which was really great. And yeah, this is the grand finale where we're going to rebuild the gimbal joystick. And guys, there was I'm still in shock because I just finished filming the episode. I'm doing the intro at the end, whatever, but there were a lot of ups and downs, and even in this episode, a ton of curveballs got thrown at me that I wasn't expecting at all, even right at the end. So you're going to want to watch the whole thing. And yeah, take a look at this. The Originality t-shirts inspired by Sub-Zero came out pretty good. So if you want one of these Originality t-shirts or anything else, there's a link down below to our merchandise shop, so make sure you don't miss that. But anyway, we need to go finish this Red Baron, so if that sounds like fun, why don't we head out to the garage and get started? Let's go!
Overtime!
Okay, let's get started with rebuilding this Red Baron joystick. And again, a huge thank you to my friend and Overtime Arcade channel member, Cameron Cardwell, for sending this to me. He found this in a operator's storage unit or something like that. And again, this panel is from a Red Baron cockpit, and I've got a Red Baron upright, but the joystick is the same. So we're going to take this thing off. We'll rebuild it, get it into nice shape, and then we'll transplant it over to my Red Baron upright. And yeah, Cameron, you are awesome. I thought it would take me years to find one of these or get it reproduced or whatever. And Cameron sent it to me as a gift, guys, if you can believe that. So yeah, so basically, Red Baron has very simple controls. There's a single joystick, 8-way for up, down, left, and right, and you can also bank, right, and roll. I don't think you can roll, you can bank. It has a trigger button, a fire button, not a trigger, a fire button up on top, actuated by your thumb, and a single start button over here. The issue is, the reason that we need to rebuild it is it's not centering properly. So we'll flip this around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the top of the Red Baron joystick, the handle part, this looks a lot like Battlezone. So Battlezone actually has two of these, but they only go, forward and reverse for kind of tank controls. One of which has a fire button, the other one just has a cap in the top. I think another game that used this style of handle was like Peter Packret, obviously a much later Atari game, but there you go. The underside, though, is very different from those games. The underside looks more like Food Fight. And so there's this gimbal mechanism where there are these two axes and these guides. So you can see, all these wires out of the way. This is the joystick shaft, and there are these two gimbal guides on both axes. So the top one here goes left and right. So it moves through this guide, and nothing happens over here. Or it can go up and down, and it moves this one, but goes through the guide behind. And these sort of guide arms are turning potentiometers. I think these are 5K pots. And so basically what happens is the game interprets the value being sent from these pots to tell you how much it's turning. Because this is not just, this is not digital, this is an analog control. These are, think of this as an analog flight stick. So it's not just up, down, left, and right interpreted as an 8-way input. these potentiometers will give you gradations. So you can turn a little bit or you can turn a lot, right? And it'll interpret that signal and send that value to the PCB. And so, looking at the side a little bit, you can see there's this enclosure. And the issue that we have primarily is this piece of rubber right here is the bellow. And you might or might not be able to see that it's all torn up. And that's the centering bellow. That's what's designed to return the joystick back to its center position when you let go. And you can see that it's not doing a good job because that thing is tore up from the floor up. So we're going to remove it, replace it. I got a couple different options we can go with. We'll get that squared away. There's also some issues with the wiring. So this, I guess I'm assuming ground wire for the top potentiometer is, chewed up, and I don't know what's going on, so we can repair that. The rest of it looks, I don't know, like this is chewed up over here too. Here's the start button that got pulled out. It's missing its cone top, but I've got one of those already, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah. And again, the joystick, the Red Baron joystick from my cabinet was missing when I picked it up, but I do have some remnants of it right here. So there was a bunch of loose stuff in the base of the cabinet. One of the gimbal guides or arms, whatever you want to call it, this is relatively intact. I think there's supposed to be some plastic here and there. The base is all smashed to pieces, lots of small bits of plastic. This is one of the you can see it's like super glued back together. This is what kind of grabs onto the pot and kind of interprets the signal from the gimbal arm to the pot's knob. Lots of bits and pieces. What I'm most happy about is I've got a ton of extra bolts here that are all in, they're not perfect, but they're in relatively good shape, which means that I can skip a step and not pull these bolts off and, sand them down and paint them, because that would take more time than I really want to spend today. So we can reuse, we got plenty of bolts here, the 4 bolts that will hold the joystick onto the control panel and the 3 bolts that hold the control panel shut. And the control panel, for this you would also need 3 for holding the hinge onto the cabinet. But with this, I guess the way that the cockpit closes, I don't know, maybe it grabs onto this or something like that, or there's some kind of wing nut that goes onto this. I'm not entirely sure, but we won't have to worry about that too much. So what I want to do here is remove the joystick. Before I do that, I should probably mark these pots. So this one, I'm going to call it the top one, so I'll put a T on it. And this one is the side one, so I'm going to put an S on it. There we go. Just so I remember kind of the orientation of these things when we go to put them back in the cabinet. Save me some trouble potentially if I were to screw that up. So let me go and remove these 4 nuts that are holding the carriage bolts that hold the cabinet or the joystick to the control panel. And over here we've got a double bolt because there is a grounding wire right there. So let me go take these 4 carriage bolts off real quick and I'll come back. Okay, I've got all those bolts off and I should just be able to slide the joystick off of these carriage bolts and pull it right out. And there we go. We'll make, whoa! Lock washer went flying. Put this off to the side. And again, I'm trying to paint forward a little bit. If anyone needs a control panel, an unpopulated control panel for a Red Baron cockpit, please let me know. If you just want to pay shipping or something, I'm happy to send it to you. I had one person respond in a comment recently, but I told them to, try to email me or send me a private message on Clav or something like that, or X or Twitter, whatever it is. But they haven't gotten back to me that way. So I know there's only so many, we've got a spider egg sac or something. There's only so many Red Barons out there and only so many control or cockpits, but yeah, let me know if you need this thing. And look at that. I don't know if there's supposed to be 2 of these, one at the top and one at the bottom, but that is all blown out there. So what's our next move? Ooh, hopefully these will let go. These are there's 3 sort of security screws that hold together the handle onto the shaft. Hopefully I'll be able to get these off. I had a heck of a time with the Star Wars yoke that I was doing for Mark recently. Let's see, maybe this. That's too big. They were just rusted and I couldn't get them off at all. Well, hopefully we'll have a little bit better luck here. All right, I think that's good. Now let me see. Some of these are kind of really kind of crusty, so keep your fingers crossed that we'll be able to get these out. Okay, I'll start with this one. Yeah, okay. That's not so bad. It looks bad, but that came right out. And that goes like through the whole width of the joystick handle to keep it in there. This top one is really the one that I'm worried about. I don't like how it looks. Okay, that's not bad. These must be metal screws screwed into plastic because that let go way too easy if it was metal to metal rusted together. Okay, these are not bad at all. There's a nice sigh of relief. And now these 2 halves, see parts of the centering bellow is just pulling out. So these should just pull apart. Nice and easy. Maybe? Is there another? No. I don't want to bend it because I might snap. All right, that pulls right off. Now, how do I open this? You know, before I break it, let me go look this up real quick so I don't damage anything. Okay, I consulted the manual, and yeah, I saw that there's this long plastic tube or whatever that sort of goes to both sides. So that was good because I resisted the temptation to kind of try to open it up like a hinge because that would have broken that. And I went and I grabbed essentially a guitar pick from like a plastic repair kit, you know, like a spudging kind of tool. And I was able to separate the 2 halves. And that comes right off. And yeah, there are little brass nuts in here, one of which is tarnished a little bit. But those hold the 2 sides together. We have our bezel, I think is what they call it. Yeah, bezel here. And this is really kind of stuck on. I don't know how I'm going to... I think it's supposed to come off. We'll clean all of this. And then inside here, what do we got? We have our fire button and a ground. Oh, this is interesting. This is supposed to go through, that's funny. This goes through the screw that holds it onto the, that's interesting how they did that. I'll have to keep an eye on that. And then I guess this doesn't light up. This is just a switch, unless it lights up when it's being pressed. But you know, because it's got just like the start buttons, it's got this translucent top, and maybe they cut the tab for where the light would go through, but that's okay. So let's see. I want to take this whole thing apart. I don't think the switch will pass through that, so I've got to unhook it. And let's remember, good thing I'm recording, black is at the bottom and yellow is in the middle for our quick connects here. And we'll put this off to the side. And so this washer will come off, or dust washer will come off. And we'll see what else is going on here. We've got some more bolts we need to remove, and you can see sort of like these recessed hex head. Whoa, we got all kinds of stuff falling out. Let's see, that would be maybe this. A little bit too small. Let me grab a crescent wrench for these and open them up real quick. Okay, I got those 4 nuts off, and there's a lot of dust and crumbling starting to come out. It wants to come completely apart, and I realize I need to remove the what do you call them? The pots from the slider. So let me try to gently loosen them, which should be this way. Yeah, okay. And I have my I have these like really thin wrenches for this type of application. Gently trying not to break the plastic, Charlie. That would be bad news. Okay, these should slide off now. The whole thing should come apart. Oh, there's a hook for it. I see. So this needs to come off quite a bit so that it can go up and out of that hook. What an interesting design. All right, that one's out. One of the tabs that like holds the pot together is unbent and is like stuck into this hole. So strange. All right, the whole thing's probably gonna fall apart when I do this. All right, so those are off. Okay, and this is pulling apart. I got broken plastic in here. Oh no. Oh no. Are you seeing this? So there is a plastic, it's almost like a gasket that kind of goes here. I bet you it's not really all that necessary, but that thing is toast. Yeah. So I was starting to realize that some of the plastic bits falling out weren't like soft grommet material. Ah. Let me get the lay of the land here for a second. Hang on. All right, I think we're going to be okay. Again, was looking at the manual. That's this plate shown up there, kind of off screen. But here it is right here. This is the, let me see. This is the mounting plate, and this looks in reasonably good shape, which is good. And this is just called the plate. And yeah, this thing is dunzo. Very crumbly, even where it's not broken, it wants to fall apart. So, but fortunately, I don't think this really does much of anything except acts as a spacer. So maybe what we can do is build this back up with a couple of washers and put them here just to get the right spacing. So I'll put this off to the side so I can figure out how many washers. Maybe I can find some plastic washers. And that'll be hopefully okay. And now coming over here, how are we going to take all of this apart? I'm going to disconnect this Molex, which I think is for the trigger. There we go. And so this whole mechanism I can put off to the side now, or the whole harness bit. And then I think I can pull these gimbal arms. It all wants to fall apart. I think I can gently pull these out of there. There we go. Slide these off. I have to do them both together. Okay. And don't want to break these. Slide them off. Come on, gently. Something hung up. All right, that one's free. get this out of the way. This is a little bit nerve-wracking. What is the holdup here? I feel that there's bending. There shouldn't be bending. All right, that's good. That's off. And then this plate down here is called the cap. That's in good shape. These arms are in decent enough shape. They're a little worn down, but that's fine. And here is our, it's like stuck on. Here is our, well, I'll just pull this apart. This is that one piece of the housing. Oh, so much dust. Here's the other piece of the housing. And here's our pivot ball. Yeah, if you can see that. And it's just caked with bellows dust. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. And will this pass through? Yeah. All right. So here's our old bellows. And you can see this thing is just wrecked, right? There's a metal outer ring, a metal inner ring, and then this rubber material is just wrecked. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And I think I want to soak some of these. Like I'm going to soak this in hot water and see if that helps loosen up the bezel to pull off, because I want to clean that up a bit. So let me go and do that. We'll get everything cleaned up. Maybe I'll look for some washers to build back up this broken plate piece. But I don't think it has a mechanical roll, which is good, other than to just space things out a little bit. So let me go and do that, and then we'll be hopefully ready to reassemble things. One other thing I'm going to do, though, look at all that dust, is maybe fish these wires out. Are they stuck in there, or would they come through? Oh, that, they might go through. Let me try doing that real quick. This might be a huge pain to get it undone, but there's a good reason for this. Yeah, that's going to be a pain to fish those back through. I almost don't want to do that. And I say that after the ground is already pushed through, but that'll pull right out. What I'm talking about is, come on. Here we go. I want to clean this up because this part of the shaft is exposed. So I'll clean this up too. I'll hit this with some Scotch-Brite or sandpaper or something to take all this rust off. So let me go clean all that up. And when we come back, we'll be ready to hopefully put this whole thing back together. All right, I've cleaned all the joystick parts, and they're out drying. And while we're doing that, I wanted to show you, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I wanted to show you what I did with the control panel. So I took the control panel off of the my upright Red Baron cabinet, and we had this bend. And I tried a couple different things. What I ended up going with was I clamped it to my workbench folding table with a bunch of these Irwin quick grips. And then I grabbed another one of those clamps, another one of those quick grips, and I like gently bent it sort of back. You know, it's still not perfect, but I would say it's more of a 90 now, 9 out of 10 than a 6 out of 10 with the bend. So we'll see what that looks like on the cabinet, and we might have to make some additional modifications at that point. The reason I went with this approach is I wanted to avoid damaging the control panel, and in particular, the control panel overlay, which is not perfect, but I don't want to have to replace it. So I figured these quick grips would be least likely to like mar the CPO, especially on the underside. So that's what I did. You know, there's probably better ways to do it with like a metal brake or something like that, but it's kind of a complex bend, and I didn't want to screw it up too much, but we'll see what it looks like on the cabinet. Okay, I think I'm finally ready. It's a bit nerve-wracking. Finally ready to put the joystick back together. Everything's dry. Everything looks okay for the most part. I ended up super gluing that plate piece back together. Yeah, it's this the plate up here, which looks like this. Like the inside piece is all smashed. That was pulverized, but you know, I could have done this with washers, and it's a little bit funky, but yeah, it kind of locks things together. I don't know. It is what it is. The other thing I did was I did you know, take a wire wheel to the joystick shaft. It doesn't look perfect. There's plenty of pitting, but it's fine. And I covered it with a little bit of this Shin Etsu silicone grease, which is usually what I use for Nintendo joysticks. I am going to use it here. I don't know if it's really what's recommended for these types of joysticks. It's designed for metal on metal and metal on plastic, so it should be fine. In order to, you know, really take the wire wheel to this, I wanted to get the these wires out of here, and I couldn't take them this way because their connectors were blocked by the roll pin, or what is it calling it, the pivot pin. And I tried to take this out, but I really couldn't. I just couldn't get it all the way through. So I ended up removing the Molex connector to pull the wires out, and then put the Molex connector back on. So that that should be okay. And let's see, let's reattach the button. This is like the trigger, and I think it was black was on the bottom and yellow was in the middle. So that looks okay. And then this ground is going to sort of wrap around and I guess connect like this or something. I'm trying to figure this out, guys. I have the instructions here. Another thing, I was never able to get the button bezel off of the joystick. You know, warm water, nothing. It just didn't want to budge. And I am very much worried about breaking the plastic by really yanking it off. But it's fine. It's okay. It's a little bit of tarnishing and corrosion. That's probably what's holding it on. But we will figure it out. So following the instructions here, let me try to line things up. I think this wants to sit in here like this. See if I can get this going and not get the silicone lubricant everywhere. Or, well, it wants to sit like that. Okay. And let's sort of maneuver this into place. Now, how am I gonna work this? Let's see. This is just yeah. It wants to go to the middle one, and it's gonna go like that. All right. It's almost like I need 4 hands to do this, and you probably can't even quite see what I'm doing. All right, now I'm trying to fish this bolt through and get it to grab onto the ground loop. All right. But everything just wants to fall away from where I'm lining it up. Okay. That looks all right. Here's my other little... Okay. These 2 bolts are kind of not grabbing onto the wires. That'll go up like this. Can I sandwich this on? It's the switch has to like sit and line up on a certain spot on this side. There isn't anything that locks it on the other side, and I'm sorry if I'm not really narrating what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I think I've got it. I think it's holding together. Grab this other screw, drop it in, grab my driver bit, Just get it started. Okay, let's see. All right, I think they're all seated. Oh, and you can see I took a little bit of sandpaper to those little hidden screws just to clean them up a little bit. Probably should have spray painted it black, but again, I don't have time to let the stuff dry. It's currently Saturday. Ooh, this side is not all the way seated. There we go. I got to get this video finished for filming and edited today for members only early access. And then obviously the public release on Sunday. And I got to get up early because I have a double pickup scheduled for tomorrow. That's right. I'm getting 2 games on Sunday, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit on the Coin Jam podcast, which is also scheduled for its live stream episode Sunday night. So if you're a member and watching this early on Saturday, you'll have a reminder in the Discord to watch the podcast Sunday night. But if you're watching, if you're not a member, and you should become one, you're watching this on Sunday, and after its public release, don't forget Coin Gem podcast Sunday night live stream. Okay, pretty good with that. My kids are out here playing outside, so let's see what happens next. And I screwed up. Because this has to go here. And this, will this fit over? That'll fit over. Not the dust washer. So, all right, guys, let me take this apart on my own time and do it again and put the dust washer on. Goodness gracious. All right, this is kind of a mess. I've taken it apart 2 more times already. It wasn't just the dust washer; it's a whole mechanism. Because again, it has to go. It like surrounds the ball like a sandwich, and I got to bounce back and forth between a couple of diagrams, and I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the pivot ball here, which is I think that's what this is. And we'll apply some of this Shin-Etsu silicone grease. Again, this is not what Atari originally called for. This is more of a Nintendo lubricant, but I figure it's fine, and I don't want to buy something else. So we'll apply a healthy portion of that there. And this tube will last you, 1 tube of this stuff will last you forever. And I got some on my hands. And there's also lubricate the linkages. We'll do that later. I think you're supposed to put some in here. These 4 spots. No wonder this joystick would always bust up. Do I need more? Yeah. Okay. We'll go here. Doesn't need to be on the inside. I don't know. Is this good? Is this sufficient? I'm not sure, but I know it doesn't need to go on the outside. It goes on the inside of this. Guess. Is that good? That should be good. Do I need to do the top? The top side? Let me do that. Okay, well. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing here, guys. A little bit here, a little bit here, here. And I'm hoping this is good, but I really couldn't tell you. But those are the points where it says to add lubricant. So I'm thinking that's okay. All right. Now we'll put that aside, and what do I need to do? Okay, all of that, and I got to bounce to the other diagram here. Okay, this comes up from underneath. I know one of them had a little chip in it. I kind of want to put that one on the top. Yeah, it's this one. We'll put that up there. So I guess this goes in like so. Okay. And this will sandwich it from above. Okay, and those pieces sort of fit together. All right, and this base, or this plate, goes on above it. Like this, okay. Like, I don't even, okay, that's starting to make sense. And then this mounting plate, not to be confused with the plate, that'll go in like that. And then the dust washer will go on like that. Okay. And I think, actually, let me drop the dust washer off. Guys, this is my first time with this model of joystick, so please bear with me. I think from there, no, there's a bellow cap that goes on like this. All right, so let me actually put these bolts through here just to start to hold it together. These are the hex. They're not carriage bolts. They're like, they get seated in the opening there. Okay. That's kind of holding stuff together. And then, yeah, pivot ball is moving all around. I'm going to rotate it so that it matches what's in the image. So we're looking like this. Okay. And now, okay, so the next thing that we sort of have to figure out is replacing the centering bellow. And there are actually two options. If you go to Arcade Shop, you will find this. This is a 3D printed centering bellow. Again, this works for Battlezone and Red Baron and Food Fight. They all have the sort of, I guess they all use this type of centering bellow. This is 3D printed and actually manufactured by Arcade Jason, who does a lot of interesting reproduction stuff. And then I have a bunch of these. Now, these are an older style, an older reproduction. These are made by Tom Wiz, and he sells them at his own website called Wiz's Workshop. I'll put a link to all this stuff down below in the video description, which I always do, by the way. People are always asking me, hey, Charlie, where can I get that tool or that part or whatever that I saw in your video? Every single time, guys, it's down in the video description. You just got to scroll down there and check it out. So this is from Tom Wiz, again, Wiz's Workshop, and I got 4 of the centering bellows. And I also, he makes out of the same material, a centering spider, and this is for like Sinistar and Bubbles, and my optical joust. So I got one of these, just trying to check it out. The issue with all of these is the reproductions tend to be stiffer than the originals. So I think, you know, like I can even try it out with my hand here, and I got some of the lubricant still on it, but I can't imagine that that'll be corrosive. You know, and everyone says that these are a little bit stiff, and people will actually drill holes into the material of the centering bellow, because I can feel how stiff that is. And then Jason's 3D printed one, which obviously is a very different design, completely different material, entirely different manufacturing process. That feels a lot softer, and that's what people say you want. So I think what we'll do is we'll go with this one for now. We'll go Jason's for now from Arcade Shop. And then, you know, for the Battlezone that I also is in the reproduction queue, maybe I'll use 2 of these. Maybe I'll use one of these in my Food Fight. And if I don't like this, if this feels too loose, I'll I'll use it for the food fight. But one thing that the Wiz's Workshop one has that the arcade shop one from Arcade Jason doesn't is a little label that says top. So that's a nice reminder that it has to go up like this. So we fish the Molex connector through it and we'll pop it up like this and hopefully be able to slide this on. It's a bit snug. Okay. And will that even sit in there? All my screws are going all over. Is it supposed to go in like that? So I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't really want to sit in there. My bolts are falling out. My family's coming over to talk to me. Let me figure this out real quick. Okay, I think I figured it out. With Jason's, it goes sort of in the other direction because it gets seated in the cap. This part is called the cap. So we'll fish the wire back through, and we will try to, without breaking anything, slide this back on. Everything just wants to fall. This is such an awkward thing to take apart and put back together. The whole thing is just such a ludicrous design. All right, I think I got it finally. And it has to go in the right direction. There's just, I don't know. I took it apart and put it back together a bunch of times, but I think we're finally going in the right direction. You know, the position of the gimbal arms matches what I'm seeing on the schematic. And, you know, it's moving and it seems to be working. And the way it gets mounted here, it almost, you can see like convex, like it bends the centering bellow. And I'm assuming, I think it's supposed to be like that. So even though it's printed flat, like it gets bent a little bit, which makes sense and it feels okay. So we will go with that. The button works, and I even use my multimeter and continuity to make sure, and I'll make sure it's grounded. I forgot to do that actually. Make sure the grounding's in place. Oh, that's, here we go. I had on resistance, not ohms. But just to show you what I do to check the button, I'm just going to try to, I got my multimeter on continuity. I'm going to try to hold the probes in the bottom of the Molex connector, and it's hard because they're so close together. The probes want to push each other out to kind of hold both of them in place like that. And then when I press the button, I get continuity. So that's good because that's how a switch works. That's how a button works. So what's left is, you know what's funny is you got to bounce again back and forth between these two drawings of the joystick to show you sort of different things. Where is it? I was looking at the lower one. Here we go. Like right here, it says repairs in the control handle would probably only involve replacement of potentiometers, the fire switch, or the centering bellows. Probably. Don't you like when manuals say probably? Especially when talking about what needs to be like maintained. So, okay. I think, let's see, matching what we're seeing on the image, it would go like this. Okay, and should I just pop those in like that? Starting with this one, we'll fish the wire through. And guys, I'm kind of just figuring this out as I go along. Spread this apart, get it into the pivot points. Can't really see what I'm doing. All right, that's in. And then this one would go like this. Okay. And we'll slide them in. This goes over like so. All right. Okay, that looks good. Watch. Yeah, it's doing its job and centering. Okay, yep, and our little posts are underneath the gimbal arms, which is where we want them to be, so that's a good sign. Okay, let me grab my harness here. One thing I did, this is actually the one off of, that came in the cabinet. It was in the bottom of the cabinet. You can see, because I used the a red Sharpie to mark top and side for, you know, on the one that I got from Cameron. But the issue with the one I got from Cameron is there's just, you know, in addition to this wire that's frayed up here by the Molex, there's a couple of wires that are chewed up. I don't know if mice got into here or whatnot. So it's okay. It's good because I have another one, and it's complete. It's not cut. There's no issues, no nothing. I soldered one wire back on that was looking a little iffy, but everything is good. And let's see. This would be top, and this would be side. So let me figure out how we get these on here. I think like this. But where is the... Oh, they're still mounted on here. All right, there are these little set screws. Oh, that one's cracked. They're both cracked. Interesting. So we have to be super gentle with these, and I think Arcade Shop sells replacements of these. Let me see if I can. Let me go grab the right screw to take these off. These yeah, these linkages are both cracked. So I'm gonna buy some more, but I think we're okay. So let me go do that. All right, that was another big pain in the neck, but I think I got it on. Again, these linkages are both cracked pretty bad. They're supposed to be lubricated, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to go buy replacement ones from Arcade Shop. Well, hopefully they'll survive enough to do some gameplay footage, but I think we're all set here. I'll connect this Molex connector, which is the wires for the button. And guys, I think we have a rebuilt, reassembled Red Baron joystick. So yeah, let me go stick this back into the cabinet. Again, I'll reuse the volcano button top that the previous owner had, I don't know, jammed in like a credit switch or something. He drilled a hole. I filled it with a carriage bolt, but let's go mount this back into the cabinet and see if we can play some Red Baron. Okay, I've got the joystick mounted back onto the control panel, and yeah, it's still bent. Maybe I didn't do the greatest job, but that's fine. And you can see how I used a extra carriage bolt to fill the hole that was drilled. I've got a little wing nut holding it on right there. I've got the start button mounted. Yeah, this thing is filthy. I got to clean the CPO. Start button is mounted there with the volcano sort of cone. And right there, and everything looks good. So I can reattach the Molex connector to plug the control panel harness back into the main harness. And I think that's seated. Okay, we'll tuck all this down. And yeah, that'll hold fine when it's, you know, bolted down. But at first, I want to see if this is running at all, working at all. And I know it's bright in here, but why don't we go like this maybe? So, come on, trying to find a good angle. All right, the cabinet is plugged in, the joystick is plugged in. Let's power on the cabinet in 3, 2, 1. All right, LEDs are lit on the PCB. We see the start button is solid. Is it supposed to be flashing? Let the monitor warm up for a second. Is there anything happening? Spot killer is on. Oh. I've had it with this game. All right, I don't know what that was all about, and maybe it's too dim. I might have to crank up the brightness. But anyway, it's running. You can see it running, right? All I did was fiddle with the edge connector a little bit. And our start button is flashing, which is a good sign. So let me see if anything works. All right. All right, shooting's working. All right, it looks like we're controlling things and we're shooting bad guys. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me button everything back up. I'll put the artwork back on the cabinet and maybe I'll adjust the brightness a little bit and then we'll play some Red Baron. All right, guys. We made it. We made it. And you know, it almost didn't happen. I was just about to record about 2 hours ago, record gameplay footage, and it wasn't working. The game wasn't booting up. The spot killer was flashing, which is the issue that I was having earlier today. And I fixed it before by just, you know, jiggling the edge connector. But that didn't work this time, and I was just racking my brain trying all different kinds of stuff. And long story short, replacing the CPU socket is what fixed it. The 6502A CPU socket. You know, I tried reseating that the CPU, and the coin counter was just going crazy. So replace the socket. That took an hour. It's kind of detailed work, and the game is working great again. So just before we do some gameplay footage, two quick things I wanted to show. It's gonna kind of be hard to see, but there is Battlezone side art underneath the Red Baron side art, because again, all Red Baron upright cabinets are allegedly, at least, factory conversions of unsold Battlezone cabinets. You can see some yellow there. And if we come over to this side here, you'll see some blue poking through right here and right here. You know, this side art's a little bit scratched up, but I would say it's still, you know, A- condition. And the colors line up with what you would expect from Battlezone side art. And you're not going to see it here, but if you catch the light a certain way, you'll see even the shape, the outline of the Battlezone side art. So that's cool. And I don't know if I showed this before. We have a really nice example of the backdoor sheet for Red Baron right here. So if necessary, if someone needs this, I could probably scan this if you want to reproduce it. Anyway, the battery is running low on the gimbal, so let's get mounted on the tripod here and play a little bit of Red Baron. Okay, this is exciting. I'm starting to get worried. It's so late. It's so late. Here we go. How's that looking? Not bad. Let me turn the lights off. I got to get up in like 5 hours, guys, because I got a couple of games I need to pick up tomorrow. So hopefully that's looking good. It looks good on the camera. So hopefully it looks good for you at home. But let's go ahead and play some Red Baron. So basically you play as a World War I ace, and you're trying to shoot down enemy biplanes and zeppelins, and there's ground, you know, bases. Anything you see is basically you want to shoot it. Don't let the biplanes, enemy biplanes, get behind you, because then they'll shoot you. And I think eventually the Red Baron will appear, because I think there's missions and levels and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Essentially, you just fly around and you've got a shoot button. Everything's working okay. I'm having a little bit of an issue turning left. It works, but not consistently. So, and one last thing, the scoring really depends on how quickly you move. So, as soon as an enemy biplane appears, if you blow it up really quickly, you can get 300, but it'll go down all the way down to, I think 20 points if you let it delay. And I was looking at the testing. There's maybe a little bit of work I need to do to line up some of these vectors, but it's certainly playable. So let's go ahead and play Red Baron. All right, and you can see it was already starting to turn. Here we go. We'll find some bad guys. There's one right there. we go, we got him. And if I leave the joystick alone, it wants to turn right, so there's a blimp. Oh, we missed that guy. Here's one right here. Ooh, yeah, the turning is tough. You can see I'm having trouble turning left. Let's see if we can get some of these ground bases. There we go. It's telling me I'm a little low, because you can crash into the ground. All right, we got that blimp. Oh no, he got me. Oh! And this game, I found out, is saving scores. I erased them on the test menu, but I did test that. Come on. Guns overheated, so if you do lay on the guns for too long, they will overheat. All right, these bases are trying to shoot at me. Oh, that one got me. Oh no! So maybe I need to get some new 5K pots. Come on. I think even going up and down is a little bit iffy. All right, let's see. Oh, another formation of 3 right here. I got that one for 300. Now he's behind me, and he got me. All right, we'll play one more. Let's see if I can put my initials in correctly. Yeah, I need to get new, what are they called? Linkages, and I need maybe some new pots. So I know Arcade Shop, ooh, that was a 300. Got that right away. Oh, yeah, it's all, I think these pots are just dirty and they're sealed, so it's hard to clean them with like Deoxit. But Arcade Shop sells new ones. They're not cheap because they have this like slip, what do they call it? Oh, what's it called? Not throttle. It's a slip clutch. That one. There we go. There's another formation of 3. I think maybe if it's far away. Ooh, I earned a bonus life. Doing good so far in this life. Oh, I got hit. Yeah. Or I crashed into the blimp. I'm not sure. That was another 300. Maybe it's distance. I kind of crashed into that guy. The blimps can shoot at you, so you got to be careful. Okay. Oh, he got me. I shot him down, but he still got me. So yeah, your guns can overheat. And now he's behind me, and he got me. There is a way to evade, but it's not easy. Oh, well, right off the top, let's put our initials in one last time. And this will be great once, whoops. I can't even go back. That's good. Oh, that works, okay. Yeah, the linkages and the pots, man. There we go. Okay. Well, guys, that's Red Baron. Thanks for sticking with me for so long for this. You know, this project actually didn't take that long, but I've done a ton of work lately. I did 4 hours. 4 hours? 4 hours? I think 4 hours of Red Baron content last week alone. Another hour plus this week. And of course, we did the pickup video not too long ago. So this was an incredible deal, an incredible find, a great restoration project. I still have some cleanup to do. Got to clean up, you know, wipe down the outside of the cabinet. And once I replace the the linkages and the 5K pots. Guys, this will be basement ready. I want to give a huge thank you again to Cameron Cardwell, my friend and Overtime Arcade channel member, for hooking me up, guys, with this super rare original Red Baron joystick. Cameron, thank you so much. I couldn't have done this without you. And if you want to become a channel member like Cameron and like the 100 or so folks listed here, click that join button down below. It'll tell you all about the Overtime Arcade channel membership program. Basically, all of these awesome folks donate $1.99 a month, and in exchange, they get access to some awesome perks, a monthly members-only live stream, and ours is coming up next week for the month of May. They get early access to all new videos, so they get to watch this probably early Sunday morning instead of Sunday afternoon like the public release. I try to do it 24 hours in advance, but you know, sometimes CPU sockets don't cooperate with me. And best of all, they get access to our private members-only Discord server, which is the best online arcade enthusiast community you will find. So yeah, look at all these names here. If you see anybody you recognize, and you probably will recognize the name, reach out to that person, ask them about it, and they'll tell you how awesome this program is. And again, it's only $1.99 a month. It helps me buy new sockets and other parts and tools that I need to keep these games in tip-top shape. But yeah, guys, I think we'll wrap it up here. Red Baron is done. All right, as always, you've been watching Overtime Arcade. I'm Charlie, and I'll see you next time.
Overtime!